Phase Hero episode 6 starts right now, and it's a big one, everybody. BD here, joined this afternoon for the second time today by Jenna Anderson.
Hey, everybody. This is so exciting.
We got Jamie Jirak.
Oh, we're doing it.
We're doing it. We got Aaron Perine.
Oh, man. In the words of Jay-Z, I don't have time to get y'all hype. Let's go. Let's go.
The hype is real. The hype is already real. Good call. Good call. All right, y'all. Without further ado, this is a very exciting episode. This is somebody who, we're very lucky to know, to have interviewed in the past at, in the before times and had a good time learning from him. Marvel's head of streaming, television, and animation. One of the best cooks in the Marvel Studios kitchen, if you ask me. Brad Winderbaum is live on Phase Hero.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, dude? How are you?
All right, congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. It's really cool to have. What's that?
6 episodes deep already.
I mean, it's just flying by, It's just, it's really fun. It's been fun to build this, and I wanted to start by saying to you, thank you, for being here, but also back in August, I think it was, we did a D23 Marvel Animation panel, and I kind of had a sense at the time where things were going.
Yeah.
I kind of was really grateful to have had that opportunity with you to be up there on the stage and talk about Marvel Animation and be part of that. So I want to thank you for that, Brad. You're the best, dude.
Dude, that was so much fun. That was such a great presentation. It was the fans were great that day. You were awesome. It felt like we brought the goods. That was a great time.
Dude, it was fun. And listen, I mean, on that note, it's been an interesting few months for the four of us here. It's been an interesting, good, mostly good few years for Marvel Studios. I mean, I would just love to hear, because 2024 has been a hugely successful and well-received year for you guys at Marvel Studios and on Marvel TV. What is the energy like right now at Marvel Studios? After, I know, like, for the past couple of years, discourse has been what it is, and it's good, it's bad all the time. That's filmmaking. But what is the energy like right now after such a good year at Marvel?
I mean, we're feeling great. You know me well enough now to know that how we operate over here, and we really do approach it as fans. That's the best part of my job, is that I get to kind of, pretend I'm in the audience watching this stuff unfold. And I got to be a part of some really great projects this year. Agatha was a huge hit for us. That was, I think, a real achievement for the studio. First of all, Jack Schaefer's an absolute genius. We get to walk around her imagination. I remember getting those scripts and feeling like the audience felt when the episodes were coming out. I would ask Jack, like, what happens next? Is she really dead? Like, where's this going? And she was like, just wait. You're going to see in the next episode. And I'd have to wait like 3 weeks. You guys only had to wait 1 week.
Well, we all know Agatha's my favorite thing to come out this year. And Brad, I gotta ask, because it seems you guys are campaigning it as comedy and not as limited series. Is there a reason for that? Or maybe a season 2 reason?
I mean, it is. All I can say is that everyone over here is as excited as you are to tell more stories about witchiness in the MCU.
Fair. That whole corner of WandaVision it's so exciting that it's expanding so much. We're getting Vision Quest next, which I can't wait for. Can we expect kind of the canon of WandaVision and Agatha to bleed into that show?
Yeah, I think it's there's like the comics, there's kind of areas of the continuity where different stories take place, and you can kind of see like the mystical, witchy, sorcery corner of the MCU is where WandaVision and Agatha live, but also alongside Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and a few other things. I would say Vision Quest, without going into great detail, it certainly branches right from that mythology we're building, but it actually deals a lot with early Vision ideas from phase 2 of the MCU. and
That's cool.
and it's really rewarding as a Marvel fan who knows those earlier movies. That being said,
Hi, I am a Marvel fan who knows those earlier movies.
you're gonna like it, hopefully. I mean, that being said, it's like it's also really I don't want to spoil anything. I'm literally right in the middle of developing it, but like I get like right on the tip of my tongue. But I'll tell you, it is like it's like a really satisfying like piece in its own right, in a similar way to the way Agatha was, where if you didn't come in with a ton of prior knowledge, there was enough that made that show unique and gave it its own identity that you could kind of like watch it cold. Vision Quest is similar. Can
I real quick, talking about the success of Agatha, a couple of stats I want to throw out here that I've gotten. Agatha All Along drove the most conversation on Twitter/X for a theatrical or on-demand title for 6 of the 7 weeks it was releasing. I can drop that stat out there. It was the most talked about Disney Plus series recently, with 4.4 million social mentions. The social volume from premiere to finale, it outranked all other similar titles in the marketplace. Episode 7 is the best received, and I gotta say that was my favorite episode. That was phenomenal, and it's the highest average score for an episodic series among all the Disney Plus Marvel shows since 2022. So Agatha All Along, big success. Congratulations. Those are pretty damn good stats, Brad.
Thanks. I'll also say for Agatha, and I can't go into hard data on this, but like it grew our audience. I'll put it to you that way. Like it opened up a new segment of Marvel fans. Like it feels like it enriched the Marvel universe.
Episode 8, 48% up from the premiere. That's huge. So congratulations. That's big. That's big.
I feel like Andre Vindicated.
Well, Brad, we're all friends here, and you're talking about growing the audience. I just want to know. I'm still sitting at the end of my dock on my pier. You had Billy descend from the heavens for us at the end of Agatha All Along. You just go ahead and give us the rest of the Young Avengers, Brad. You got the keys. You could just go and knock on Kevin's door right now. He could just give them to us right now, right? He's literally
on the other side of this wall right now, right on my computer. Look, we those characters are obviously if you're following along at home, you can see them start to emerge in the universe. And who knows where it goes? Who can say? But noted, Aaron, noted.
So we recently got our first look at Wonder Man, and it looks delightful and very just meta in its construction. What do you think is going to surprise people the most about that show? It's a two-hander between two amazing characters, this odd couple of Simon Williams and Trevor Slattery, and you get a little bit of glimpse of that in the trailer. It is I don't want to go too much into the story details. It's very fun to see people speculating about what they think the plot is. That is part of the fun of it. If you're a fan of the Avengers of West Coast Avengers, you know a little bit about Simon Williams. You're going to be, I hope, if you're anything like me, you're going to be very excited to see how much homage to the source material there is actually in this show. And it really is it is a love letter to Hollywood in a lot of ways.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be cool.
Oh goodness. Okay, so I got my shirt on. Y'all bring
nice.
My girl back.
Yeah.
I love Ironheart. I've been waiting. Me and Dominique Thorne just sitting here like, girl, when? She's like, I don't know. When? Do you know? But the Ironheart character is rooted so clearly in family. It's so important to her. How much of those comic relationships and stories are you letting like influence the series, or how much do you feel that sort of like communal aspect comes into play with the series?
That is the show. Riri is it's a bit of a quarter life crisis for her. Like many of us, though. The world's not what she fought in Wakanda. She went. She fought Namor. She was like, she had this great adventure, but yet like the struggle is the day-to-day struggle is still real. And I think that, you know, as people in the creative arts, I'm sure, you know, everyone on this call can relate to that. And, you know, she's Riri Williams. She's going to do what she needs to do to get by for her and her family and everyone else. And it does lead her down some roads. And I'll tell you, like, she has a Tony Stark size ego as well, which gets into trouble too. So it's a really fun show. It's a crime show in a way we've never done before.
That's cool. Wait, we got one. Gold. I think this is from that Deadline report. Can you say, is Wonder Man going to be 10 episodes? Gold Searcher's asking.
I don't actually remember where we landed on. I think Wonder Man is 8 episodes. I think it's an 8-episode series.
I had another Ironheart question for you because I'm a fan of that pocket. I mean, Tony Stark, ego, love it. But I love those Ironheart comics and Riri. The suit in the footage you've shown, it looks awesome. It looks so good. How did you guys make the suit look so good for Ironheart? What is the secret recipe for the design? Is any of it practical? Like, how'd you guys do this?
Yeah, there's a full practical suit. Yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah, there's a full practical suit. Yeah. It doesn't obviously do all the crazy things that the suit does, but we use a lot of techniques that we that, you know, go all the way back to the first Iron Man film, where we actually had a practical suit on set and we're photographing it. And so first of all, just even as visual reference for the CG artists, having the actual suit there, even if it had to do like CG things and open and close and stuff, it had all the perfect lighting reference. So the emulation is just like spot on. Yeah, I would. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be in the Marvel lobby in a few months.
How much
you guys can come see it.
Don't let me out. Feel it.
We'll do that. I don't know how much you fall down these internet rumors. There's the old Twitters and Reddits. There's so many rumors about Ironheart. Now, you guys trolled us a little bit in Agatha by name dropping Mephisto. Mephisto confirmed. Can you say anything about how you guys hope to plan or use that character?
All I can say, Jamie, is I wish I could tell you. I want to tell you.
Listen, I'll take this moment to look right into the camera and say, Eric Voss, we tried, buddy.
So pivoting to Daredevil Born Again, there's been footage shown at D23s and at cons all over the world. What can you say to people who haven't seen those full trailers yet about how the show kind of picks up with those characters?
I'm so excited for that show. It is it's like I actually don't think the audience is ready for Daredevil Born Again. Like it's like it goes really deep in these characters. I love the original shows, and that cast is unbelievable. I remember, you know, having conversations with Kevin when the original series was cast, and we were like, yeah, if we were making a movie about Daredevil, that would be a great cast. And the way the two characters of Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk are paralleled, and that, you know, I think it's one of the best rivalries, you know, in the canon. But they're also like, they're both in this series. There are two individuals that are fighting against their true nature in a way that actually makes them very similar. And it's the way they parallel these two characters is just incredible. It's really great storytelling.
Slip me the episodes, Brad.
Well, while we work on getting BD the episodes, we're talking about episode count, right? And you guys obviously went down from the original reporting, and we're focusing on possibly like a second season. Has there been anything to get excited about with the 9 episodes you have made that we're going to get at the beginning? You say we're not ready. I'm scared about how much Daredevil we're going to swim through here.
Yeah, I think, look, it's, you know, I kind of see, you know, we had like kind of different waves of television. Mm-hmm. And from the beginning, you know, when we first started making TV, you know, our first wave of shows really felt like movies. They tied into the features directly. They kind of started Avengers. Then we had a kind of second wave that was like new characters, that would pay off in films sometimes. And then we kind of entered a bit of an experimental phase, and our first conceit for Daredevil was, let's try a longer format. You know, let's take this character and this world of New York City and build an ensemble and build a longer format. And we learned a lot of lessons doing it that way. So, you know, because of a number of reasons, including the shutdowns due to the strikes, we were able to reassess the episodes and see what we had now. And where we landed is this amazing, it's just best at 9 episodes. It just feels like it is a great kind of first season, you know, to tee up this world that continues on into season 2 and hopefully beyond. Mm-hmm. I think it's a series that can run for multiple seasons. I think the version of New York that Dario's come up with is extremely intricate. It almost feels like a palace intrigue show. I've compared it to Game of Thrones in some recent interviews, and I think that's true. Like when I say that, it means that there's just multiple factions vying for power in really complex ways. And there's really and there's true tragedy to, you know, certain people's destinies based on their own choices. It's a really intricate show. It's a very and I will say this, like, I get asked a lot about, like, well, is it going to be violence? Is it going to be intense like the original series? Is there going to be, like, you know, is it a real TVMA show? And the answer is yes, but it all comes at a cost. There's really nothing extraneous about it. It is one of the more violent things we've put on screen, but it's in service of kind of a greater tragedy that is really compelling.
Oh man! All right, we gotta start wrapping this up with you real quick. So we have a couple last questions for you real quick, dude. Yeah. I can't wait for Daredevil, and I saw Punisher in the footage for Daredevil. Yeah. Can you talk about, like, just, is that a character you could see continuing on in the MCU? Because he is a heavy character, dark character, not something we're used to seeing from Marvel Studios. Much like it sounds like Daredevil is Deadpool already did. Daredevil is going in that direction. Like, can you see is that a character you guys want to continue with? Because I freaking love John Bernthal's Frank Castle.
100%. Yeah, we feel the same way. I mean, you know, he's so great in that role, and I can't wait for you to see him on screen in this series. Yeah. And there's absolutely a future for him in the MCU afterwards.
So getting into animation, What If Season 3 is almost here, and that trailer looks unbelievable. That is so much fun. What makes Season 3 the perfect note to not only end the series on, but end a great 2024 for the MCU?
It is, you know, it really, you know, it's funny with What If, there's always like the watcher kind of like ends up guiding you, not just through these like anthology stories, but I find myself really investing in him as a character. Like, he's got to me, I see the watcher as being us. You know, he's like the audience member of the, you know, not just a passive observer, but like a fan. He like really engages and feels emotional towards the stories he's watching. And that to me has always been the most interesting part of Uatu, especially in What If, the television show. And it does feel like we owe it to that character, and the story kind of drove us there to tell a little bit more of his story, and where he comes from, and what his drive is, and frankly, like what the ramifications of his better nature will be. You know, he's not supposed to intervene, and he clearly does. And those chickens are going to come home to roost in like a major way in the 3rd season, in a way that feels like it culminates. And it's quite emotional, actually, the way it culminates at the end of the 3rd season. And I'll also say this about it being and I cannot say too much, but I'm just going to put this out there, that there are bigger universe reasons why it feels like What If needs to kind of like coast in for a landing right now. And it doesn't mean that there can't be more What If down the road, but it is part of a bigger tapestry that's being woven in real time.
That's a good tease. All right, real quick. These are the last two for you. I'm going to throw them at you real quick. First of all, I'm going to save the best for last. So first, I'm going to give you 3 titles. If you don't mind, sharing which one you think is most likely to possibly one day ever, if we're all so lucky, see a season 2 of it.
Okay.
Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Hawkeye.
I mean, I can't answer that question, obviously.
All right, then skip it. I thought we wanted to see, season 2 plans type question, but then also give you the out of it's only likely of the 3. All right. More importantly,
I mean, I would want to see seasons of all this.
The comment section, you're seeing so much Agatha love in the comment section. Like, people are asking about, we got a comment here from Tony. Is there going to be surprises for the Agatha Assembled episode? Like, dude, people are.
It's that Assembled is awesome. It's awesome. There's so many practical effects. I mean, I can see that thing. Like, it's gonna be like chopped up and everyone's gonna be putting clips of that thing all over.
All right.
That cast is so great together. The effects work, all of it. It's just killer.
So selfishly, I'm ending it with this, and you know where I'm ending it, Brad. You know damn well where I'm ending this. It's our quarterly check-in. What's the latest with Nova? Is there concept art? What's going on? What's the latest with Nova, Brad?
It's in development. Like we talked about at D23, we're developing more than we make. So it's kind of brewing in the pot. But there's a lot to be excited about. And it's what I've seen so far is extremely promising. I'll say that. Especially like tonally, like where it's like the vibe of that show is very unique and very cool.
I would look so good in a Nova suit. It's that's what I'm saying.
Hey man, maybe if we make this thing, you can come out and cameo.
Oh, dude, listen, I'll play a doorknob. I'll pay to play a doorknob. I don't care. Dude, thank you, Brad, for joining us on Phase Hero. Like, seriously, this means the world to us that you'd come trust us with your time to celebrate Marvel and all the work you guys are doing and share insights and give us an opportunity to bring those to the world. Like, seriously, thank you. I hope when What If rolls around, we can see you at an event for that soon. And dude, and we'll celebrate that show. I cannot wait till December 22nd to be back in that world. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Congratulations again. I'm gonna be listening as a fan, and really happy for you.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, and you can just close your browser. It'll take you out of here, and we're gonna hang and just kind of recap this with our comment section. Best of luck, dude.
Bye.
Bye.
Here, I think since he closed, it might take a second. There we go. He's gone.
There we go.
Wow, he's the best. Like, is he
Brad.
not? Like, I think it's awesome that Brad is getting kind of positioned in the media too. Like, he was on stage at D3. I think it's awesome that he's getting this. For lack of a better word, the spotlight within Marvel Studios, because he started this by saying he's a fan. He cares, and it shows. I mean, you listen to him talk, you watch the projects. And I'm not just saying this because I think Brad's a nice guy and he gave us his time. Like, I really do believe that. What takeaways do you guys have from that?
Well, I want to say to all the people in the chat asking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I can promise you Brad does not have an answer, is not going to give an answer to that question, which is why we did not spend time on it. When we have a concrete Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. news, I will be the first to know, and I'll be the first to tell you all. Believe me, if I could have sat here for an hour and talked to Brad Winderbaum about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I would have. But bless all your interest. If you want to hear about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., go listen to 11 the Time of Hydra, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast I host.
Do it. And that's the thing about these interviews. And honestly, I feel like we can make episodes about ourselves getting ready for these interviews. I think pulling the curtain back on how we prep for these. Like, I would say when we first started, we had like almost 30 questions. And then we're like, okay, we're going to have 20 minutes. We got to narrow that down. Here's the questions we want to ask. And then it's like, we want to ask questions that, people are going to break out and talk about and have a good time. But ultimately, we just want to put on a good show. And we don't want to do like setup stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I do want to outright say, hey, could you do a Punisher series? But at the same time, I don't want Brad to feel like he's being asked to say something that, might not be comfortable to answer because it's going to go viral and stuff like that. But I think that our conversations that we have are part of the fun about getting ready for these interviews and finding ways to word questions that are like fun to answer, fun to explore, that provide an opportunity for some insights and context that aren't just like, ooh, oh, you know. And I feel like we have the freedom of doing that now that we're just doing this and having fun with it.
I just want to know why they're campaigning Agatha as a comedy. Like, I regret even mentioning the season 2 thing, because then he couldn't say anything. Because honestly, there has to be a reason. It has nothing to do with the season 2. Maybe there's some kind of I don't know. I don't understand. I just need an answer.
Maybe it is season 2. I do want to go back into. I have these stats for Agatha that I want to share because the show was very successful. Episode 8 had nearly 5 million viewers, 4.6 million viewers, which is a 48% increase from the premiere. Episode 9 drove 3.9 million views after a day of streaming. That's, I mean, I know enough about this to know that's really good numbers. But that episode 7 being so well received, skewing 68% positive, 9.2 on IMDb. It's just like, I don't find it surprising after having watched it. I remember watching episode 6 and being like, damn, they're really on a roll now. And episode 7 came along, and it makes sense that those were the two, like, you know, they just took off. And it's funny, these stats I have show that TikTok was one of the biggest drivers. Jamie, I don't know why I've had you up on the big screen the whole time. Sorry about that. But TikTok was the place where so much of this was happening. And we had a viral TikTok that we didn't even post from the Mary Lavanos interview. So, you know, and I want to thank everybody too. We're not a show that's going to be mad at you for taking our footage and sharing it. That's the whole point. That's why we're here. We want to reach people. We want to share the insights with as many people as possible. And it only makes, you know, more people aware of what we're doing. And that, I take it as a compliment if you guys break our stuff out. Thank you in advance. If you can tag us and stuff, makes it even better. But you know, we'll never be mad at you for sharing our stuff. Paul, even when Brad gave us a little, he gave us a lot. Exactly. I wonder what else is being discussed behind the scenes, like Nova. To be a fly on the wall at Marvel Studios would be insane. Scott, again today, thank you. Take a minute and appreciate you guys. Started this new brand in less than 10 episodes. And you're getting pretty big name celebs. Proud of you guys. I mean, it's not lost on me that we are very fortunate to be in a position to get these interviews, which is why I want every guest on here to feel like their time was valued and they were respected. And there was no, you know, just fishing type crap questions. Jenna, Aaron, what do you guys have to take away from that interview before we wrap up?
I mean, just him saying that we're not ready for Daredevil, like the what if tease about like the larger ramifications, which the writing is on the wall. I feel like that's very a Secret Warsy type of answer. There's just so much out of this that I'm going to be like lying awake in bed at night thinking about.
Aaron, what about you?
I'm laughing that apparently Kevin Feige is listening to us through a big
I know that
in the wall. That's very funny as well. Excited for Ironheart, of course. And everybody was saying that they wanted more what if, and it sounds like the door's not closed. It sounds like that door could come back open at some point, and I need to know what happens at the end of the season, because it sounds like for some story reason it's gonna go away. I don't know.
I have a feeling it has something to do with like the multiverse ending.
Yeah.
The multiverse saga ending.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. It'll be interesting. I did kind of want to ask, like, hey, can we see like Fantastic Four in What If, we're given that we're getting Storm and like, you know, some of the integration of these other Fox characters, or that were Fox characters that are now Marvel characters. But that's one of those that I feel like, you know, it's a question that I did it again to Jamie.
I know.
You know, but I just feel, you know, those are the type of questions. It's like, you know, let's just wait and see. That's what they want us to do. If those characters are in it and they wanted us to know, they'd show us. So yeah. But yeah, that was awesome. The Daredevil stuff. God, I wish I could watch that show yesterday, dude. Oh my God. Punisher, big future. That's good stuff. I can't wait to go open Twitter and see what people took away from it and see what Agents of Fandom has tweeted already and all that stuff. You guys are the best. Thank you for always supporting us. Aaron, any last words for today's second podcast episode?
Oh, goodness. It's at Summer Lake Hornet. I did not get a chance to say it first time. We worked out ye old kinks, and I'm glad I was here for this, you guys. And also, Christian, Jenna wanted to ask about Birdie, but we couldn't.
We would have asked so many what if questions. Like Jamie said, we could sit
questions
for hours and talk to Brad and not run out of topics at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Jenna, you're up there on the big screen.
I'm on the big board. It's at Hey It's Jenna Lynn on social media. As always, go read some comics and go follow my YouTube channel, which is also called Go Read Some Comics, where I post video essays about stuff that I love.
Jamie Jirak, any last words for today's show?
just thanks to Brad, just one of our biggest supporters. We just love that man. I know that a lot of times we don't like to all be in the room for an interview because it could get a little crowded, but we were like, we all got to be here for Brad. That's our boy. Yeah. And so just thanks to him and to the folks at Marvel. And we heard, I don't know about you guys, but I heard that we got an invite to the Marvel Studios.
I know.
I heard that.
Yeah.
So Brad, I'm not going to forget you said that. Follow me at Jamie Jirak on Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd, at Jamie Cinematics on Twitter. And I can't wait to watch Agatha Assemble tonight. I'm sure I'll be tweeting a lot about it. So
I fully blew our invite to Marvel Studios when I said I was going to steal the Ironheart costume. That's on, that's on me. But no, I mean, we were talking before the show. One of the things I really want to do is live in-person events with the four of us together, hopefully with guests, and hopefully with a crowd. I'd love to do something at a comic convention. We have done live stuff in front of a live crowd before together. It's been super fun. Of course, I'm referencing Love in the Time of Hydra panel at LA Comic-Con. So, I would love to do stuff like that. And Aaron had a really good idea about a piece. That was public news, right? That you mentioned.
Yes.
Before the show?
Yeah, that's on the Disney Parks blog.
Yeah, there's an Avengers store opening. We would love to do it. If we can find a way to make stuff like that work, I would love to do in-person events where we can meet fans, where we can have live guests and just share our excitement in person. Because the energy when we're together, I love doing this virtually. It makes it possible that we can do it virtually. But the energy when we're together is the best, and I love doing stuff in person. So yeah. Anyway, I always rant at the end. That's it, guys. At Brandon Davis BD, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave 5-star reviews, and I'm gonna stop yapping. And once I tee up this outro, bye everyone. Have a great rest of your week.